Sorry. Tried. And then this side.
One, two, three, right?
Yeah, pass the 1, 2, 3, yeah. You can partition or have videos. Well, actually, try Jesus is the answer to every church.
Yeah. Valley,
All right, this is
67?
session 3. we're
Raleigh.
calling
It is session
We're
three.
going to go over a couple of other things that we haven't mentioned yet, or that we have mentioned, but maybe I'll go into a little more detail. So first of all, on the book reading, you have the first 30 days in front of you. Gordon will be coming up with a list of the rest of the year at some point, either in sections or the whole thing. So don't worry about it too much. There has been a concept that we discussed from the beginning that some adult men haven't read a book since high school. I think as Christians, though, we're pretty much used to reading. Everybody kind of agree with that? Everybody's kind of reading? It's actually sort of a habit that a Christian needs to have. There's a verse in Joshua, chapter 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. So these books might not be the Bible, but we could probably imagine that they're pretty scriptural in their references. So it's all good stuff. There are 13 books so you're going to basically be reading a chapter a day. It doesn't sound as bad as it sounds, because a chapter of a day, like if you looked at the first book, the chapters are not very long. So maybe some days they're going to be long, other days they're not going to be long. It's up to you to keep up with it so that when we get to our bi-weekly meeting, you are at least up to date on the last 14 days, because we're going to be discussing it like that in groups of 14 days. Just to touch on the concept of the 30-day challenge. The challenge of the 30-day challenge is to build habits. To be able to, the 5 or 6 things that Saj went over, that you should be able to, within the 30 days, make them a part of your morning or part of your day, a part of your life on a daily basis, so that you, by the time we hit the ground after the 30 days, it's pretty much second nature with you. So that's the whole challenge of that. When we do have our bi-weekly meeting, we're going to discuss the books, basically not like chapter by chapter, but more like what has touched you out of what you've read in the last 2 weeks. What has enlightened you? What has opened your eyes to something about the Lord that you hadn't realized or thought about previously? That's basically where that's going to go with the meetings. As far as the bi-weekly meetings are concerned, we're looking at 24 meetings. It is scheduled out so that it will not conflict with the holidays. Thanksgiving and Christmas will be, it won't fall there, so we won't be having to change the date suddenly because everything goes bad. We would hope and suggest that no one misses more than 6 out of the 24. So you're within a reasonable opportunity to go on vacation with your family and do everything that you have to do, and you're going to miss 6 bi-weekly meetings. So that's pretty cool, right? As far as trying to keep up with the commitment of this, right? You don't have to miss 6. Please don't miss 6 if you don't need to, but that's the number that we're shooting at as a maximum. The 3-day fast. I know that when I heard about the 3-day fast, more so than the 15 minutes of exercise, I thought, what? and not just a fast, but a 3-day water fast. is what we're talking about. So I'm just going to give out some paperwork. I looked up a couple of things that might be helpful in terms of what a 3-day fast would be like in terms of getting yourself ready for one. The things that you ought to do a couple of days before. And also the second page is about how to transition out of a 3-day fast. Now, the concept of the fast, biblically speaking, is not like when we talk about a fast, a lot of times we're speaking about some dietary issues. The fast is that we speak about biblically is that we are faithfully acknowledging God's hand in our life. That we recognize that we live in the shadow of God's hand. That all that we have is from God. That His provision has gotten us through in one way or another, even when we didn't understand. I'm sure we've all been in that spot where we had no idea how we were going to make the mortgage or whatever, and it always works out because of God's provision. And so the idea of the fast is to give up one of our basic necessities. I was recently traveling and in a different country with a different language, and the thing that becomes apparent is the only thing that you need to learn how to say is about how you can get some food. It's really the only thing. And if you have a motorcycle, the gas station becomes pretty important too. But the most basic necessity of humans. And so the concept to glorify God by giving up our earthly substance in order to show our faith in His provision is what this is. It's glorifying God in the act of fasting. Of course, we all are all familiar with Jesus saying that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. This is the concept. There are many places in the Bible that mention fasting, and the intentionality, like Saju had mentioned, intentionality is what it's about. We all are familiar with how Jesus said not to fast like the Pharisees, not to fast for the sake of personal aggrandizement, that we are fasting for God. It's a personal thing between you and God. Now, we're doing it as a group, so that personal thing between you and God and your motivation becomes a little bit different. But I think that within the parameters of this study, it's viable that we are having a personal relationship with God in a group. And that's what this salt is going to be about. It's going to be going through glorifying God together as a group of men. That's basically it, except that I should mention that a lot of times when we talk about fasting in the church, like when churches talk about Lent, other churches that is, that there's this concept of, well, I just have to give up something that I like. I can give up media. I can give up television. I can give up this and that. That's not what we're on about here. We're talking about sustenance. We're talking about food. It does not have to be a water fast. If you're not capable, or you don't think that you're capable of doing a 3-day water fast, then you can, a viable way to go would be to give up something. Let's say, for instance, you're going to give up meat for 3 days, or you're going to give up carbs. Whatever it is that you consider a big problem is going to be coffee. Because if you're going to do a water fast, you're not going to drink coffee. So you need to scale down your coffee before you go into it. But perhaps not drinking coffee is your fast. It has to be something that you're intaking for this particular application of fasting in our group. And we'll talk about questions about fasting tomorrow. I think that sheet is very valuable in taking the shock value out of getting in and getting out. Because it's as important on how you get out as it is how you get in. The hike. The culmination of our 15 minutes of exercise every day is going to be a physical endurance hike. Currently, that's what we're looking at in some beautiful spot. And this is something that is also personal. It's every individual has to know what they're capable of. Number one, we're not saying that anybody should go on a 5-mile hike or a 10-mile hike. The ultimate thing that we're looking at is a 10-mile hike, which would essentially be 5 minutes out, 5 miles out and 5 miles back. But if you're looking to scale it down, it could be a half a mile out and a half a mile back, whatever you're capable of. But there's that, there's that midway point. You gotta come back. So that's the way we're gonna look at it. That's going to be at the end of the year. We're just talking about it now because we're, talking about everything, but it's not something that you need to concern yourself with. And finally, there's going to be something called the SALT culmination dinner. Or at least that's what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's what you call it.
You just named it, it's good.
Okay. This is where we invite the wives. Now, you should be aware that the wives are already talking.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and they're probably talking a lot more than we are. This is going to be the time when your wife comes, and even though you was in front of us the whole year and everybody looked like they would, it was easy and they were doing it, the wife's going to tell the truth about how you had to be motivated. The pastor of the River Rocks Church is a fellow by the name of Pastor Jeff. And he sat down when we were at our last retreat, and he sat down with each group. We had little study groups, little table groups, in different rooms, separate from everybody, and he did a stop by in everyone's. And when he stopped by mine, at least, he mentioned that the most important to the men in his congregation, the most concern of his men in his congregation is providing for his family. The most important concern of the women in his congregation is the spiritual state of their husbands. It's a very interesting dichotomy. So, when it comes to that culmination dinner, I think that's where that's going to show itself. Of course, we are, by necessity, concerned with providing for our families. But this SALT program is giving us an opportunity to spiritually grow in the way that our wives would be happy. I would like to just mention before I step off that I'm sure he doesn't like me to say it, but Gordon has been the driving force behind this from the very beginning. The only reason that I'm here is because he's bullied me into it. And I'm scared of it. All right? He has worked round the clock. As far as I can tell, he's given up a lot of other things in his life. I don't think he fishes anymore. He has been working in every way, and he's not just been working, but he's been reworking it and reworking it and reworking it and reworking it to get to this moment. And I was the one who said there's only going to be 3 of us. And the fact that we have a room full of men speaks to a lot of great things. And I think that we should all be proud and optimistic about what this next year is going to be. And even though we keep talking about the 5 things that you have to do every day and blah, 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 if you are in the Word already, it's not a thing. We all, it's just another thing. Maybe you got to get up a little earlier. But that's about it. And I guess I'll turn it over to Gordon and we'll see what the next session is.
All right. Just quick on this. This is the book that we're talking about, Chapter 8, Spiritual Leadership. This is the book that's on the 30-day challenge. So, and that starts like pretty quick. So if you see on your sheet when that starts, it's like right now. All right. I think this, what is that first
Monday.
date on there?
Monday.
Monday. So, get this. And there's no, listen, on the accountability too, and I think you guys may have said it, I just didn't hear it. When you're doing your accountability on the chat, that doesn't have to be done in the morning particularly. It's done any time in the day, and it usually reflects, I guess it reflects that day, but it can be in the evening as much as it can be at noon or any other time. But starting right away, we're going to be looking for the guys, looking and seeing, are we doing this? Because without this accountability, it takes the heart out of this program. And it is so vital to it. And Pastor, I know you've been talking about this for a long time. It is vital to our growth. So it's our responsibility to hang in there. And hey guys, if you didn't get we're responsible for our own growth in this program. Each one of us is responsible for ourselves, for sure. But part of that responsibility is to be looking out for our brothers in this and to be minding each other as best as possible. Not to police them, but to be able to get in there and give them encouragement when 3 weeks from now they're like, this is driving me nuts. I'm 3 chapters behind. We got to get in there and lift our brothers up. Initially, Saju and Mike and I, we're going to watch out for that, kind of watch to see if we got anybody's fallen, off the path. However, after that, we're going to come up with something called Battle Buddies, and we're going to have our groups of 3 or 4, however we've figured out to design it out, where guys will be able to keep track of each other and help. Only to be buddies in the foxholes together, basically. It's not to be policed. That's not the heart of this. But if you haven't got your book yet, get it. Some of you guys, I already know some of you guys have got all of them. Some of you guys have already got these, but if you haven't got them, get in there. If by some chance this gets to, and they're not expensive books, even if you're buying them new, they're not bad when you look at it. But they are available used too, and they're really cheap. But you may be seeing somebody else's notes, so I don't know how you feel about that. I don't like it. So, what else can I say about that? Not much. If there's a financial issue involved in this, if that's a case, then come talk to come talk to Pastor, come talk to me, come talk to Mike, or Saju, and don't worry about that. But I hope that's not the case for you guys, but if it is, and the other thing, the last thing I'll say right for the moment here is, guys, we're a family here. We're going to feel this down the road more than you can possibly feel it right now as we go through the struggles together. Let's not be embarrassed about anything with each other. Let's speak our hearts. Let's speak honestly. Let's speak openly. Let's be transparent. And the other little thing was, guys, take notes if there's something that happened tonight or happens tomorrow, what have you, or you think about later. And actually all through this program really is make notes of things that you either think could be done differently, could be done better, or are absent. Any of those things, we need to have that over the course of the year so that the next time we run this, we can make corrections where we need to. They did that process up there. They're in their 6th year and they're still doing that. So other than that, read until, let's say, can we do it till a quarter over 10 to 9, or 10 to, it's 10.
Our schedule goes to 10.
Yeah, so, okay, 10 o'clock, read, 10 o'clock, we're going to be out in the cheeky, unless we get a downpour and don't know it. But Pastor Arlen's already built the fire.
So yeah, you guys take care. You guys can sit wherever you want to. There is no like you got to sit here. You can pick a place. The idea is to read the book.
Should I tell them that if anybody's not sure what a chick is, it's the tiki outside?
I wouldn't say that out here, man. You're gonna have somebody come after you with
With
a
a Tom Horn? Don't do
hacky
it. Don't
talk.
say it. Don't say Tom Horn.
I'm not. I wouldn't dare.
Well, I'm tempted.